Okay, next up is Jeff Guice. Jeff is currently serving as a state representative for House District 114. Jeff?
Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to share a few things about my formative years. You know, while I was in school, I was involved in a lot of activities, but one in particular was the most important. That was scouting. Yes, Boy Scouts. I'm proud to tell y'all I'm an Eagle Scout. You know that only 4% of people that participate in scouting since it started in 1911, 4% make it to the rank of Eagle. To become an Eagle, you learn many leadership skills, the meaning of commitment and service to our fellow man. While I was growing up, my dad was a major impact in my life, and there were three things that he was a stickler on: to work, being responsible, and pay your own way. Beginning at 10, my brother and I mowed enough yards to buy a gas-powered lawnmower. One of those rotary push ones. Some of you young folks probably never saw one of those before. When we asked our dad to give us the money for gas to pay for us to cut his yard, he said, just use my mower, it doesn't require gas. That's where I came from, having to be responsible to yourself. We also had a paper route. Can you imagine, by the way, Chick had one too. Can you imagine boys in between 12 and 14 years old getting up 7 days a week in the 70s to deliver a newspaper? In doing that, you were responsible for not only delivering the paper, accounts receivables, accounts payables, and marketing. You had to go out and collect the money. You had to turn it in. And you had to seek new customers as people moved or passed away. This shows at a young age I was prepared for hard work and commitment and dedication to my responsibilities. I took a non-typical route on my higher education, working my way through college, and began my real estate career in Ocean Springs in the mid-'80s. Shortly thereafter, God shined his light upon me and gave me the love of my life, the former Miss Belinda Grider, and 3 children, Heath, Lincoln, and Alexis. We've been blessed, and our family has grown, and we have 3 grandchildren. As a real estate broker, I established my own company after just 2 short years. Then I was blessed to be running a nationally franchised company, growing to a staff of 25. We set a goal to provide our customers and clients with the best experience possible. And I led our team to winning the Quality Service Award 5 years in a row with a customer approval rating over 95%. Also winning the Martha Helm Award for community service as a realtor along the way. As a man of service, I served as a deacon for the First Presbyterian Church for 6 years. I served on the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Gulf Coast, serving as president in 1998 and 99, and being honored and recognized for service and commitment, receiving the Outstanding New Board Member Award in 1993 and the Outstanding Board Member Award in 1995, and the prestigious Man Youth Award in 2000. Also of note, as a young man, I was honored by the JCs to be the Outstanding First-Year JC for the state of Mississippi. I'm a Master Mason. As a Mason, I've been privileged to participate as a York-Rite Mason and served as a presiding officer in 2019. Our primary philanthropies include research in children's hearing and vision issues. I'm also a Shriner. Was honored to serve as a presiding officer, the potentate, in 2020. As a Shriner, I'm currently serving in my 5th year on the Shriners Children's Hospital Shreveport Board of Governors, establishing an outreach clinic here in Ocean Springs at the end of 2019. As a Scottish Rite Mason, I currently am serving as the presiding officer. The Scottish Rite Philanthropy supports learning disabilities, such as dyslexia. I currently serve on the Scottish Rite Foundation for the state of Mississippi, and currently working on a project to support our own Lighthouse Dyslexia School here in Ocean Springs. I began my service as your state representative in 2008. At that time, the Republican Party was in the minority. I quickly learned that a Republican had to develop relationships with the majority party to get anything done. In one such case, there was a strong movement to allow the county jail to move out of the county seat. That would have been bad for us on this side of the county. The bill appeared to be headed to passage. I met with the leader of the controlling caucus. He's a gentleman from Pascagoula, Moss Point. I met with the leader, expressed my concerns about the action, and the measure quickly went down in flames. That was from relationships. As our caucus grew and we established a majority, My participation in the process rapidly changed, where I became and was appointed chairman of Marine Resources, where I passed landmark legislation protecting the rights of waterfront property owners. Then I was appointed chairman of Interstate Cooperation, then chairman of Ports, Harbors, and Airports, working on issues that impact our state's economy as one of the largest economic engines for our state. I've served on 14 different committees in as many years, gaining vast knowledge on a broad level of subject matters. I coordinated the passing of landmark legislation on the Cook Road project with TIF funding. That's something formerly that was reserved just for municipalities. We're able to get that started at the county level. I helped secure one of the largest awards from the Road and Bridge funding to replace the Wade Van Cleve Road Bridge crossing the Pascagoula River. I am the sponsor of the bill that allowed our city to have golf carts on our public streets. I was instrumental in the development and passage of our Red Cup law, and I've had great success at fulfilling the requests of our city, Jackson County, our major stakeholders like the Gulf Coast Research Lab and the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. I've been a major part of our community receiving record amounts of funding from our dedicated funding sources, such as the Tideland funds, BP money, and Go Mesa funds. These things do not happen in a vacuum. They happen as a result of hard work, commitment, and strong working relationships. As your state representative, I've developed strong relationships with large employers like Chevron, Ingalls, Singing River Electric, and Mississippi Power. I even have a good working relationship with CSX Railroad, getting the private pedestrian crossing reopened underneath the US 90 overpass at no expense to taxpayers. I've been blessed to build great friendships with relationships that have led to success in achieving the goals, the people I serve, which includes you. If you get a chance, ask the county or city officials and leaders, along with the folks of the Gulf Coast Research Lab and Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, to see how successful I've been at helping them achieve their goals. Now, moving on to the future. Why do I want to be mayor? I want to serve you as mayor because I have the life experience, the history of success, and relationships at all levels of government to do good work for Ocean Springs. I understand the process well, to develop a collaborative environment with the people, the businesses, the political subdivisions. I've worked with people at many levels to help them achieve their individual as well as collective goals. I am confident I can bring my experiences home, bring us all together, regain the community pride we all share. We are all stakeholders in our community. I want to work with you to develop a plan that brings us all together for the future of our community, family, and children. To sum it up, I want to unify our people, make a difference in how business gets done at all levels here in Ocean Springs. I plan to work with the Board of Aldermen and departments heads to develop a long-range plan for our city. That includes our infrastructure, planning department, public safety, economic development, beautification, and recreation. We will work together to create a framework for future development that adds to the beauty of our city and maintains its individual charm and unique character. A framework that spells out what is expected and still provides a bit of flexibility so we can adapt to unique situations and still maintain our priorities, such as continual support of our tree canopy, architectural charm, and attractive way of life. I hope to work with the aldermen to develop a tool other successful cities have used, a team of community business leaders to work along the lines of a redevelopment commission, to organize the groundwork for our city we feel and look like our children and grandchildren would enjoy. I plan to find the money in our budget to beautify our city, to bring flowers back downtown, and systems to help beautify our neighborhoods throughout the city. I am confident that if we spend a little time, effort, and resources on beautification, cleaning up, and restoring our sense of community pride throughout the city, we will treat each other kinder as we work on the problems we're currently facing. Bringing more people together will help us solve the issues of the day. We need to work on a better plan for the Front Beach. Currently, the county has the ultimate responsibility, and the city operates in more of an advisory role. I plan to use the strong working relationships I have with the county officials to develop a better strategy for the beach, including its utility and preservation. Although the beach has received a lot of attention from the media, I've heard a lot more people voice concerns about the homeless problem that has impacted our entire community. It's my plan to bring the organizations together that currently serve the homeless population, develop a coordinated system of service that will reduce the negative impacts of the homeless population. We have many ministries that serve the homeless. However, there's not sufficient coordination to manage the issues. We need to be proactive and develop a long-range plan to upgrade and systematically update and repair our aging infrastructure, roads, drainage, sewer and water systems. You're setting up like you want me to stop. Is that right? Did you give me time for the stopping? We'll stop. That's good enough.
Yeah, we gave you extra time.
I'm good. Go
You
ahead.
good? Okay, good, thanks. Thanks. Okay, as we said, the first three questions were submitted ahead of time, and the last three were not. And here's the first question. What is your vision for the city of Ocean Springs, and what are the things you have done or experienced in life and in business that have prepared you to operate the city in an executive role? Please be specific about how you are equipped to prepare the city budget, managerial responsibilities, and that includes hiring an executive team. This also includes acting as the face of the city.
Sounds like about 5 questions in one, wasn't it?
It is.
All right, first, the vision for the city. The first thing that we have to work on is our unity. We've got to be able to work together, to be inclusive of all mindsets, to be able to affect change that we will all embrace, to be able to be proactive and work to beautify our city and accomplish our goals, to be cooperative and collaborative in what we're trying to do. We've got to clean this place up. You know, we've got a little messy over the last few years. That's one thing that I've heard a lot, is that we're not as clean as we used to be from the local folks, even though we're real popular. When I go talk to people and I ask them what's wrong, one of the things is that we got too much stuff going on the streets. We got to be a little bit more hospitable. Now, how do we get there? Well, we get there by being together, by working together, by being transparent, by willing to accept one another and our differences. And let's find the common ground that we can all agree on and focus on that. The second part of the question, what experience has prepared me to operate the city? Well, I've been in government for 14 years. We've done good work. I've worked on budgets. I've worked with a very diverse group of people from all walks of life across our state. Very different, and been able to accomplish good work, bringing us all together to achieve a common goal for the good of our state. I could bring that home and bring it here and do good work here for all of us here in Ocean Springs. As far as the budget goes, you know, our budget, I got a copy of it, it's 52 pages. Seems pretty substantial. It's more than the one that I have at home that I have to do. But it's not even close to the one that we work on for the state. It's over 600 pages. I'm not even going to begin to talk about the amount of money. It's about the complexity. You heard me talk about being on the Board of Governors for the Shriners Children's Hospital Shreveport. Our budget is quite complex and very high. We work on that every year, and I'm in my 5th year of that. That's probably more in line with the size and scope of the city's budget. In business, my Century 21 company I had, we had to develop a budget annually for that and work through it. As the restaurants that I've owned, we had to work through budgets there. And in the developments and construction projects that I participated in along the way, we developed budgets. It's all about bringing people together to work on the budget, to trust the people that you work with. At the city level, we have the clerk. In the state, we have the legislative budget office. Then you have hearings, meetings in our case, with the department heads and the aldermen on what the priorities are and how we're going to achieve them. Then,
Ready to go to the next question?
oh, they're time limited?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was a long question.
3 minutes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, the next question, is also, again, also submitted in advance. Ocean Springs has aging water and sewage infrastructure that requires serious attention. Highway 90 has significant congestion. Challenges exist in most neighborhoods. While we understand you cannot fix the infrastructure needs in one term, how do you view them in terms of priority, and what is your long-term vision for solving them?
3 minutes. I didn't practice 3 minutes on these. You'll have to forgive me. I was looking at 30 minutes for the whole picture show. Infrastructure. Got to work with Public Works. They're the ones that's in charge of that. The aldermen are very familiar with it, and the engineers around our community. We've got to set priorities based on critical need, on safety factors. We've got to look at the age, and then what's economically possible. You know, we got to have a long-range plan. We have an awful lot of resources underground that have a depleted capacity. We've got to make an effort to analyze the life of these products and put them on paper and plan on having them replaced through their life. I feel like that what I've been seeing, and I might be wrong, we've been reactive. We need to be proactive and plan beyond its goals, it's not absolutes, beyond our 4 years to what the future holds. Insofar as things like Highway 90, I have a great working relationship with MDOT. The district engineer, Kelly Castleberry, and I speak on the phone regularly. I've helped out with a few things around our city already. We do need to address things like traffic flow, traffic lights, their coordination, or the future says that we're going to be eliminating those. Are y'all aware that more traffic accidents happen at traffic lights than any other place? That's a fact according to the statistics from MDOT. But the plan has to be put together in a collaborative effort with the alderman, department head, engineers, MDOT, the county. We all got to work together to form what we're going to do. Just one person is not the people or the person that can do that. It takes a team that's willing to set priorities and work through it.
So you can do it. That was wonderful.
It's hard.
No, you did great.
I'm from an environment that talking long is not an issue. So.
Okay, this is question number 3. Most people believe Ocean Springs' economy is doing well. Do you see gaps in our local economy? And if so, what are they? How would you recommend filling those gaps?
Before we get to gaps, let's talk about what we have. We have plenty of services. We have plenty of doctors, lawyers, accountants, physicians. We've got great engineers. We've got great people, insurance companies providing us all kinds of services. We have more places to eat per capita than any other place on the Gulf Coast. We have more square footage of grocery store per capita than any other place on the Gulf Coast. So we've got some of the best shopping. That's what we're real popular for. Our art is second to none globally. We have a great sports complex in our beaches. We're set up for tourists greatly. In fact, we need the tourists for our small shops downtown to thrive and survive in the new economy where so many of us are shopping online. So what we're really missing is places like this. We don't have enough accommodations for our guests and visitors. We need to have a mindset when we're developing the plan for our accommodations that's in line with the new traveler. And the conversations that I'm having with people that visit with us in the tourism committee or other people that I know that develop things for tourists, Americana, the nostalgic way of life, the way things were of yesteryear, a lot of times that's what the new traveler wants. They want to have a little bit more individualized experience when they travel. They don't want to be just packed in a box, and we don't need to be the host of the cheapest place in town. We need to be the place where the folks come that want to have an experience and they're willing to pay for it. So, along with accommodations, entertainment, family entertainment, with our sports complex, if we are able to attract businesses that will cater to the sports complex people, the families, And I've actually been in conversations with a few, haven't gotten anywhere yet, but as y'all know, you just keep pecking at it, and one day you'll be able to turn a log into a beautiful work of art. High-tech entertainment. That is becoming more affordable every day, where you can have these experiences where it doesn't impact the environment terribly, and people can go into essentially a box that moves around and blows air on you and gives you some visual stimulation, and you think you're an avatar of some type. It's becoming available to everybody. We've got to attract people here to do that if we're going to grow that economy. But the first step is the accommodations. We've got to create a framework in order to have that take place.
Thank you. Okay, these are from the list of unsubmitted questions. The first one is this. Explain how your administration will effectively foster relationships with the Board of Aldermen, the private sector, the county, the state, and the federal government to maintain the Ocean Springs charm while responsibly managing the growth.
I think that's what I was speaking to already. Do y'all want me to talk about it again, or y'all had enough of that? I have the relationships already working with all of these people to do just what the question asked. And I'm prepared to move forward and do good work for our city.
I almost said that you addressed that pretty well in your opening comments. So, question number 2. The perception is that the city's focus on beautification has waned in recent years, as you previously pointed out, while challenges like homelessness have increased. These issues impact both the quality of life and residents and the experience of tourists and visitors to Ocean Springs. What will you do as mayor to improve beautification, address homelessness, and improve the quality of life here?
Well, the first thing in beautification is we got to get people bought into participating. We also have to find a place in the budget. And the overall budget, and doing a little bit of research, it's not a lot. We've just got to make sure that we set our priorities so that it's included. There's more to just doing the entrance to downtown and a few places around business. We have to look at the beautification for our subdivisions. You know, we have some subdivisions that are doing a great job, and there's to keep their entrances beautiful, and some not so much. You know, there's a lot of different ways that we can bring people together to give them incentives to make our community more attractive. You know, those stakeholders in the community, some of y'all are those. If we can get some input and some support from different organizations with just a little bit of money each, we could come up with a plan to beautify our whole town. We've got to make cleanliness a priority. Now, on the homelessness, y'all, it's become a problem. We had a homeless person set a house on fire recently. We've got young ladies, high school girls, getting accosted at the gas station buying gas. We got to get a handling on this. Now, you heard me speak a little bit to homelessness and the ministries. The other part is we've got to come up with a program. I've got a framework, an acronym, CARE, C-A-R-E. Counsel, that's something that those ministries can help us with. Assist, that's something those ministries can help us with. After somebody has had counseling and assistance and they still become non-compliant, don't want to participate, then we have to look at relocation. What that looks like, the aldermen are going to help decide that with what the partners in our town want. Okay? Then we got E, we need to energize. We found, I've been studying homelessness since I got in the legislature. I've traveled other parts of the globe and across our country. It's not unique to Ocean Springs. And there's a lot of different ways that different organizations deal with it. But there's two things they all do. They all relocate in some fashion. Some temporary during the day. Some put them on a bus to another part of the world at different levels. And they all energize or go talk to them and make them less comfortable in where they're sitting or standing. I even talked to a gentleman yesterday from another part of the country, and in their ordinances, they made it illegal to lay down in public space. You'd be surprised how easy that is to enforce. There's a little thing we can do in our own town, in our parks. asked the chamber and our public parks to close after dark unless you have a permit to be in it. Then the people won't be in the parks sleeping. It's sad that our children and ladies in our town are fearful of this scourge that's causing difficulty in all our lives.
Thank you, Jeff. And this is the last question, which you also addressed to some extent, but you can add whatever you want to add to it. Pascagoula and Gulfport, among other cities, have major economic development projects on the ground or in the works, and they are funded through respective redevelopment authorities. Would Ocean Springs benefit from establishing a redevelopment authority? If so, what should the goals of such an entity be?
Well, can we benefit from that? The answer is absolutely. How we structure it, I believe that since our town and our budget is such that it is, we have to be careful saying we're going to just spend a lot of money up front to create it. So we're going to have to take a kind of a broad path with a lot of volunteers to start with, and then work it down to something that can be effective for our community. The good people that love our city are here. This is something we have to do together. It's just that simple. No one person can do it. And I don't want to retread what I just said a few minutes ago, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Real quick,
Yes.
I want to leave you with one thing. I want you to remember something. It's important that we all think like this. God loves you, so do I. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.